Super Talk 99.7 WTN, that is your radio station. We thank you for being here, whether you're listening on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, or any of our apps, whether you're listening on 997WTN.com, perhaps you're on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We appreciate you being there. Oh, Rumble as well. We appreciate you being there. Thank you so much. It is a very sad day in the United States of America. It is, I would suggest to you, a day that will live in infamy, a day that will live in the annals of history as a political commentator, podcaster, talk show host, major political figure, and founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, died at the hands of an assassin's bullet at the age of 31 in Odom, Utah today, on the campus of Utah Valley University. We continue to discuss it with you on the phones at 615-737-9986. Many of you have been holding for well in excess of an hour. I appreciate that. I've got my good friend Steve Abramowitz from Heartland Journal coming in just a moment. But, Steve, I've got to I want to get to Josh. He's held for almost an hour and a half. And God bless you, Josh, for your patience. You understand today's been an absolutely crazy day, and I thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I want to thank you for taking my call. Just wanted to say, first of all, prayers out to Charlie Kirk, his family, and everyone that knew him very well. Prayers for just a supernatural healing with them, God to touch them and just bless their lives. Also, the main talking point I wanted to have was, you always hear on the news and the media, the left is always out there, gun control. Guns are killing people, all this stuff, but you come to find out all these mass shootings or these public shootings that go out there in the world, it's these leftists or like Charlie was talking about with somebody else, a transgender that's committing these atrocious foul acts. As a young conservative, I've got two young children. I raised them in a conservative value, a Christian value. That's very important to me. I own guns. My guns have never hopped up and hurt anybody in the world. And anybody I know that's got guns has never hopped up and hurt anybody. One of my best friends in the world, I adore him and his wife and his children. I've been best friends with him for a long time. He considers himself liberal. But we're able to sit down and have conversations with each other on different sides of the aisle, but still love and respect each other. And I think that's what this world needs to get back to, is just being able to sit down and talk like Charlie was trying to do on these universities. It doesn't matter what your viewpoint is. You're a human being. You're allowed to have your viewpoints. That's what makes us great as humans, great as Americans. You can have your own views. You can have your own stance. We can disagree on it, but yet at the end of the day, we're allowed to stand that way.
No, I mean, it goes without saying that we ought to be able to have rhetorical disagreement, debate, argument, passionate argument, Josh, without it resorting to violence of any nature, much less of a deadly one like this. And I mean, this is a seminal point. I mean, I don't mean to use, no pun intended, no play on words intended. This is a turning point in America right now. If we're going to put up with this, and I do not believe that it is wrong, I do not believe that it is improper or inappropriate to point out that the violence that I am seeing over the last couple of years in this country is coming from the political left.
That's my thing, is just how long can we put up with it? I mean, as one of the young conservatives out here, I'm tired of dealing with it, but I've got a family to take care of. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to cease to defend my family or defend my rights. And I can speak for some of the people I've come to know. There's something bubbling, and it's eventually come to a head. And unfortunately, I feel like this might be it. And I don't want to see a revolution or any kind of violence come out of this, because that's not what Charlie stood for. But at the end of the day, something's got to happen to stop this.
We need to demand better. I don't know what you mean by something has to be done to stop this. Outside of, there are ways under the law that we ought to demand that people are kept behind bars. There are things that we can do under the umbrella of law and order. I am saddened that we have I'm not saying you're saying this necessarily, Josh. You're just wondering out loud. I appreciate the question. I appreciate the thought. But I'm saddened at the number of people that are saying now's the time for vigilante justice. No, now that they want you to act like them. They want.
I don't want vigilante justice. No, I don't condone.
I know you weren't saying that. I know you weren't. But the question remains: what do we do? What do we do? Well, I know that I'm going to protect myself, and here's what I would recommend. First and foremost, I am the first responder, and sadly, considering that I'm an American, my political viewpoint is out there for all to hear, for all to see. I am darn sure going to keep my vigilance about me as I try to do on a day-to-day basis. And I would encourage everyone, whether you have a talk show host, have a talk show or not, if you're a talk show host or not, I mean, you've got to do that as well. The last thing that needs to be brought to the table is that how do we work extracurricular to our system of justice and the American system, our representative republic that has been set up and has worked so well. How do we work extracurricular to that? Because we've had vehement, angry, rhetorical disagreement for a long time. We've had policy disagreement for a long time. Only recently has it been the mantra of the political left that our democracy is on the ballot and that suddenly there's an existential threat to the future of the United States of America. And I would suggest that sort of language, I would not say that it needs to stop because I don't believe in limiting your ability to freely speak. But that does not mean that there ought not to be consequences for those that are engaging in that side of the discussion. Of course there should be. Greg is next up. He's held for a long, long time. Thank you for your patience, Greg. How are you?
Hey, Matt. I'm doing good. How are you, brother?
I'm well. Thank you.
I appreciate you taking my call. Charlie Kirk, I knew the name. Just let me tell you right up front. I didn't follow him physically on any apps, but I did see him a lot on different apps like X, which I see a lot of different things on that app. And I looked at the videos of some of the things that he was doing around the country at these colleges. And the man was a gentleman. That's one thing people need to realize. This guy was super at what he did. I've been in broadcasting a long time as well. And he did he did fantastic with individuals, with the young folks. He had a microphone out them to talk. He heard them speak, never interrupted, never raised his voice. When he talked back to them, he talked back to them like I'm talking to you. And he respected everyone who came up to that mic. My problem goes toward the Congress. And let me finish what I'm meaning. I see these liberal Congress women, AOC, those other ladies in her crowd, go to these crazy protests. And I'm in my early 60s. And I've watched a lot of politicians. I've been a Republican all my life. My family was. My grandfather, my father. And they had Democrats back in the early years, and they fought back and forth. But you never, in my recollection, I've never seen any of the Democrats from the past speaking and yelling on the microphones at these crazy protest outings that these crazy groups put on and get these people fired up. Well, that's a congressman. They're saying all of that. That can make somebody that's crazy even more crazy. And our problem needs to start with them people. The oath they take I've never seen a Republican do this. They might have somewhere in the past, but I've never seen it with my own eyes. Being radical is what I mean. Everybody hearing my voice need to contact their Congress people and let them know it needs to stop. Anybody that does that needs to be kicked out of Congress. That should never happen. That's where it's all gotten to in the last 10 years. It's been going on ever since Trump came into the picture. And I'm just going to say I hate this. I saw the video. It blew me away. I just can't believe this has happened to that young man, but it happened because he was a conservative, quote unquote. He was 31 years old, and he was moving the young people to his side. And all the Democratic folks and the radicals, they were threatened by what he was doing. But Congress, people in Congress need to have integrity. They need to be a little bit more laid back than what I've seen some of these people doing. And I appreciate you giving me the time, young man. I enjoy.
Well, thank you. You held for a long time, Greg. I appreciate you.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
sir.
Matt. I appreciate WTN.
Thank you very much. Not everybody agrees. 2805 says we should probably limit access to firearms to people. And in response to that caller, he said Trump should probably stop saying he may be a dictator. And then he said we need to think about what Trump did on January 6th. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Number one, what are you even talking about? Oh, you mean when Donald Trump told the crowd to peacefully protest is guaranteed a right enshrined in the Constitution of the United States to peacefully protest and petition their government for a redress of grievances? You talk about that, what Donald Trump did on January 6th? Is that what you're talking about? And don't tell me he didn't. I got the tape, pal. I mean, you want me to, today's no day for it. No, he didn't tell them to peacefully protest. He told them to fight. He told them to fight like hell, politically speaking, and he most certainly did. Go listen to the tape, buddy. And police officers did not lose their lives that day. That is a lie from the pit of hell told by the mainstream media. A police officer lost his life due to an unrelated event the day after. The only person that lost their life that day was Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer. What are you talking about? Make it up as you go along. We're going to get to Steve in a moment. Steve, hang in there. And many of your other calls. So Steve's next. Steve Abramovich, my good friend from Heartland Journal. Brian Van, Doug, Robert, and Danny. Not necessarily in that order. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And there are other news stories out there that pale in comparison to this huge breaking news story that started around, local time, 1:40. I mean, when was it, Jackson? It was like 1:30, 1:40 when we were preparing the podcast.
Yeah, about 1:30.
Yeah, and we first got news of violence that had broken out on the campus of Utah Valley University. I'm going to ignore, if I'm ignoring you on the text line, I don't mean to do that. I've got a lot of telephone calls to get to, and sadly, the trolls have come out on the text line, and that is to be expected when an event like this happens. People now have found our Super Talk text line, and they think it's funny, talking about how happy they are that this happened. And you folks, you know what? You might not get your comeuppance in this life, but I assure you, you'll get it in the next. 615-737-9986, and that's for somebody else to judge, not named Matt Murphy. Our good friend Steve Abramowitz is with Heartland Journal. He covers the news for a living as well, and has a great podcast in his own right. And he joins us today on a very, very sad day. Steve, how are you?
Hey, man. I wouldn't even have a podcast if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk. I mean, he was one of my inspirations early on before I ever said, hey, I think I could do that. A bunch of other ones, too. He was just here, by the way, in Nashville, Franklin, actually, with Pete Hegseth before the election, before Pete became Department of War head. And the guy could deliver a speech, and he could make a point. Very talented speaker. And just yesterday we were we were outraged at a crazy man killing a girl in North Carolina, right? And Cracker Barrel was our big thing. And it's like the 60s, MLK, JFK, RFK. Luckily not Trump. They tried twice. So we have become a very bloody society, haven't we?
We have, and I see it coming from one side to the other right now, and I'm not suggesting that there aren't radical individuals of all political persuasions and political types, but it feels to me like there is a certain type of deranged individual that's being inspired by the language of the left, and I don't apologize for pointing that out. It's important that we note, we need to know the genesis of where this is coming from. And when they scream and yell that democracy's in danger and if we don't do something, it's an existential threat to democracy, well, what do they think deranged individuals are going to do with that type of language?
Brother Matt, I just had the guy running for governor in Minnesota. He took on Walz 2 years ago. He's doing it again. And remember, they killed two. One, the Speaker of their House. Political violence is abhorrent. I hate it. I've been railing against it since Rodney King. When Andrew Breitbart and Rush Limbaugh and Phil Valentine died, thousands of Andrews and Rushes and Phils got behind microphones. I'm one of them. Hopefully millions of Charlies will be born now of young conservatives who don't like violence, but now they just saw one of their young heroes taken as a martyr. So, I heard Brian on with you. I was on hold. Far be it for me to disagree with Brian Wilson. But I want to give Charlie more credit for not just Trump's second term that Brian gave him credit for, but his first. I remember talking to my son about Trump because he heard things about him from Charlie. He built the largest group of young political activists for the conservative cause ever. And believe me, I'm old enough to remember conservatives were not cool, right? He made it cool to be conservative after Obama, when Obama was the rock star all the kids thought was hip and cool, and did it with his brilliant arguments and faith, right? 5.4 million X followers. That is not insignificant. Van Jones has 871,000, right? He was just on CNN yesterday calling Charlie racist. So he's got some problems here. Gavin Newsom was just on a podcast making an open call for violence against the right, said, punch him in the mouth. Well, guess what? Charlie just got punched in the mouth. Are you happy about that, Gavin Newsom? So I put blame on him for Charlie. Talk like that is disgusting for a person with a microphone. You can't do it. I can't do it. Why can the politicians do it? Remember the guy that shot up the Republican baseball game was a Bernie Sanders guy? After all that rhetoric about that, Senator Mark Kelly's wife was shot, and they blamed Sarah Palin for having a campaign ad with a bullseye on it. That was patty cake compared to this, fight, 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 Trump getting shot. So political etiquette is strong. Eric Holder, kick them when they're down. You're right. It comes from the left. It doesn't come from the right. It is ugly stuff, and it triggers the lunatics. And we've been seeing them on TV for the last 10, 15 days because they were freaking out because of Sydney Sweeney. They were freaking out because I don't know, what did Whoopi Goldberg say this morning about the guy in North Carolina, that it's a mental illness, it's not murder. It blows my mind how far they'll go to defend this. We even have a guy here in Nashville that's willing to point out every single mistake a white person makes, calling him a Christian nationalist. That is going to trigger people.
No, I think it's well spoken, and you're exactly right. And we're going to have opportunities, and we have opportunities, thank God, and we should cherish them, to speak our minds regarding where all of this comes from and how, sadly, sane people who say crazy things can plant seeds in the minds of insane people and see crazy things as a result grow. And
look what they're saying online. He had two young kids. He's got a wife named Erica. He was so young, born in 1993. 22 years younger than me. This is outrageous. I have his last book right in front of me right now, How We Win, Finding the Will Individually and Collectively to Fight for America. No wonder the left hates him.
Well, they hate him they did hate him because they could not beat him in the arena of ideas. Steve, I got to scoot, and I appreciate your thoughts and your commentary on it. Y'all can find Steve over at Heartland Journal. He's a good friend of the show, and he runs a great podcast over there. We appreciate him chiming in today, and appreciate all of you Zinni and Marie and Danny and Doug and Brian. And if you have thoughts, 615-737-9986. It's 31 after the hour on Super Talk. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Before we get back on the phones, we've only got about 20 minutes left in the show. It has absolutely flown by. Obviously, a sole focus of discussion, the assassination, the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's what it was. And for the life of me, I don't know why leftist media continues to talk about, well, we don't know what other motivation would there be? Exactly. Other than a political one, other than an attempt to silence someone who was exercising First Amendment rights on a college campus, what exactly was the motivation? But yet still the CNNs of the world, ABC, CBS, NBC, all of these alphabet soup networks, and I continue to see it all online. We don't know Barack Obama came out with thoughts and prayers, and he said, while we still don't know the motivation, well, what would you think the motivation would be, sir? Why don't you use the brain that God gave you and try to figure this out? So this has been going on online, and I don't know if this is something or nothing, but considering that, I want to share this with you. If you're watching on Talk TV, this is from the Utah Valley University campus, and it looks to be from the event, and I'm just sharing this with you now.
You think he'd already be in place? You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying? Huh. He just ran from over, where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in, and now he's right there.
So they're looking at the top of the Sparks Center, it looks like. I think that's right. I'm just, I'm trying to, and I'm capturing it here for you right now. You can see it. There appears to be a figure on a roof at the Sparks
over
Automotive Center.
From over there.
And I don't know if it's something. I don't know if it's nothing. I know it's a video that popped up online that appears to be someone or something on the top of the roof prior to the shots ringing out and as individuals were assembling. Now, I don't know that they had snipers on the roof. I would doubt it. I would suggest if I were betting money, I would bet that they did not have snipers on the roof. So there's that going on. You can pull that down, Jackson. We're just getting into the video on the television side of things. So bear with us. Thank you for indulging us. So, all right, let me get to Doug, who's held for a long time. Doug, thank you for your patience. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Thank you, sir, for having me on.
Of course.
My call.
Yes, sir.
Just thoughts and prayers, out to Charlie, and let's not let his voice be silenced. This has hurt my heart. I just got off the phone with my sister about 2 hours ago, and she's crying. Our country is hurt. This is, to me, I was born in 1967, so I don't remember JFK getting killed. And I certainly don't want to compare this young man to him. He was a great young man, of course. And I just hope that we don't let his voice be silenced by this. I'm 57 years old, but I seem like I can relate to the young people now a little bit better than what I used to. And the man served a great purpose for this country in trying to bring our young ones together and teach them a better way from what they were learning. I've just had two sons graduate from the University of Tennessee, and they're hurting also. Even though that a lot of the things that they were taught were a little bit to the left. Now, of course, at Tennessee, it's not as bad as some other colleges, but they've had to endure some of that. My youngest one actually he called me up one night and told me, he said, "Dad, what am I going to do? This goes against everything that you ever taught me." And I said, "Son, the best thing you can do is go along with it and fight it in some other arena." I just don't want, again, let's not let this silence this man's voice. And that's about all I have to say for you tonight.
Thank you for saying it, Doug. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. You are Charlie Kirk. I am Charlie Kirk. We need to begin a movement that proclaims that we are Charlie Kirk, that his memory will not die, that the concepts of freedom and liberty and free speech will never die. You can't kill it. Charlie was a believer, and Charlie's in heaven now. That doesn't mean that we're not sad. That doesn't mean that his family's not heartbroken in a way that I can't possibly imagine, that none of us can possibly imagine unless we've been through something like that. I am Charlie Kirk. You are Charlie Kirk. Nicholas called earlier today, and I told him the same. He is Charlie Kirk. And you now take that torch and carry it with you. And what is it? What are we doing? It's not about particular issues. It's not about this singular political point or that one. It is about freedom. It is about liberty. It's about the concepts that were brought to us by our founding fathers. And it's about insisting about the political left that they are the ones that have changed, and they have to get their minds right around what democracy looks like. And I said it their way, right? I understand that we're a representative republic, but that's what they love to say. This is what democracy looks like. This is what what does democracy look like? That when you don't get your way, you resort to violence? You scream and you yell? And you punch and you kick and you shoot? No. No, we stand up today and we say, I am Charlie Kirk. You are Charlie Kirk. You are Charlie Kirk. And we must continue to insist that his memory live on, that his life live on through us. That is a proper and appropriate remembrance. And I know it's way too early to think about that because sadly it just happened hours ago. Brian is next. Brian, thank you for your call. How are you?
Oh, thank you for having us on today. I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm all right. All
right. Well, this is wasn't what I expected to talk about today. I like to be on the super text line and be a little bit of a smart aleck and have some fun, but there's no fun in this.
Yeah.
And let me just say that, they murdered him because they didn't like what he had to say. That was it. And I've never hated anyone in my life so much to tell them that they needed to not be able to go home to their wife and their children. But this person that did this had that much hate in their heart. And these are the people that call us bigots and awful and how we're just, backwards and everything. How do they look at themselves in the mirror? These people that do these things. It's sad. It's sick. And, all he did was dare to question authority. And aren't we supposed to question authority?
I thought we were.
That's what I thought, too. And I'm telling you, I see this all the time in, higher ed, where all these people think that they're so open and so loving. And I'm like, no, what happened today was not open and loving, talking to people you don't agree with. And Charlie Kirk was a man of God, and he exemplified it. He would pray for everybody that came and called him every name in the book. He never lifted a finger to hurt them. Never. And that's, to me, the prime example of turning the other cheek. And he did all this. And someone else didn't want to turn the cheek. They wanted to tell a wife and their children that they couldn't have their dad because they were mad. That's all it was. And anybody that puts up for this, I'm sorry that you got all the hate listeners and the trolls on the text, but those people, but it's true though, we have to pray for them. And it's so hard to do that, isn't it?
It is.
It is. But yeah, but again, and what y'all do is so important.
Well,
every day I'm one of those. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I'm one of those, listen as much as I can throughout the day. Makes the work day go better. I like to laugh with y'all. It's great. And I wish we were talking, the fun stuff about can't take his shirt off, but we can't because somebody was killed.
Yeah, that's right, because someone could not handle a different political position than their own. I'm looking currently, and thank you, Brian, for the call. As Brian was talking, I'm looking at video, and I'm hesitant to share this because I just want to guarantee that this is what I think it is. I believe the Provo police arrested a suspect in the shooting of Charlie Kirk after the university or the Utah Valley University event today. The name has not been released yet. I think I can share this. Yeah, no, I know I can. I mean, I know I can share it. So this is the I'm going to keep the audio down for a minute because I tell you what, you, Jackson, keep your finger on the pulse of the button and pull this up on Talk TV. This is the video believed to be of the arrest. It's an individual in black pants, white shirt, Provo police.
Rifle on this dude's dash, and they just handcuffed him.
He had a rifle on the dash, and I don't know if this is related or not, but it is believed to be related, at least if you believe several online sources. But they're putting him in the back seat of this car. A number of items in a bag that he was carrying, a bright green bag, if you're not watching on Talk TV. And it looks to be a bolt-action long gun that he had on him on the dash of his vehicle or somewhere on his vehicle. And they're looking through the bag there. Once again, I'm seeing some of this at the same time that you are. So I don't know if this is related.
Do you see his gun?
Several have suggested that it is related out of Provo, Utah. And we're just trying to figure out how far. Hey, look up real quick how far Provo is from Odem, O-D-E-M, where Utah Valley is.
That's his rifle.
Because they're holding a rifle, what looks like a suppressor on the front of the rifle, and it looks like a bolt action with a wooden stock. So there's that. Pull that down for the moment, and we'll move on to a couple. Well, gosh, Marie and Kirk, or Danny, I should say, and Tony. I'll try to get to you if I possibly can, but right now I've got to do this. I apologize. I'm trying to get to as many as I possibly. I mean, obviously, it's been a crazy day. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 8 until the top of the hour. As we wind down our coverage of the incredibly sad, tragic, horrific breaking news story of the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, we're getting, originally in the story, we were told that his wife, Erica, and children were on site. I'm getting conflicting reports on that. You just pray that they weren't. I mean, you pray for them, generally speaking, but you pray that they weren't. One way or the other, we thank you so much. I'm saddened for Tony and Danny and Maria. I apologize to you. There's 3 left on the line. We just don't have the time to get to you, and I'm saddened about that. But I promise you we'll be discussing this at length throughout the course of the day. Tomorrow, starting with Nastro's Morning News and Dan Mandis, I'm certain that Mark Levin will have full coverage of it as he cranks up at 7 o'clock tonight, just after ABC News. And of course, Mandis in the morning from 5 until 9, Chris Hand after that. Chris is as close to this as any of us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, works for Turning Point USA, knew Charlie, and I'm thinking about Chris too, particularly. I'm thinking about all of you. I'm thinking about America. God bless America. Can we keep it? It's up to us. Is this a turning point? I certainly think so. I pray that you hug your family tonight, hug your loved ones tonight, and we certainly appreciate every single one of you. And until tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we'll talk to you later.